Okay. And when you donate, although it's 16 years old, the children could find out your identity. But is there some sort of option where you could, at that time, where you could offer your identity early on? So if the kids are younger, like, 10 years old, they can contact you, or does it not work that way?
No, they keep like I guess with 12 or 13, they can get like basic information like eye color, height, and with 16, they can really have the possibility to contact. But we have to understand that this is like now, because the law changed like in 2004, I think. So the first children are now like starting to be able to contact the donors. I'm of course a little bit later, so my donor children can start from now on. But we don't really know how it's, what the procedure is. If they would, if donors really meet up with them, or some maybe say, I changed my mind, or I moved to some Bali or something to hide.
Yeah.
Or I've not heard yet how that is turning out, actually.
Well, according to the documentary, you first started donating in 2007, but right around 2014, the amount that you donated skyrocketed.
I think, I remember that part in the documentary. And I was
you saw this graph, and suddenly it suddenly went up drastically within like 2013, 2014. It was like 10 times, 100 times or something like that.
No. I think what happened is that they, the early, let's call the early years, the people that I helped, they also had a way different look at the whole thing. They were like, okay, I get this donor, and it's basically like they kept the contact way more short than later on. Because I was also in the early years, I was like, okay, you can have contact maybe once a year, an email, and at 16 we can meet or whatever. So what I think is that these families, like these early years, they don't really look for contact with, also not with other recipients. And the recipients that I helped, like around maybe from 10 to 12, 14, I was way more open. I was, look, if you want to meet me like on a Sunday afternoon and you're nearby, let me know, call me. And they're also the people that were more like open to that, and also more, I have like, not like in my record, or I don't know, like a memory that year was like, it's probably that they, what I say, these people were more open to get contact, or willing to find somebody else.
Okay, so between 2007 and 2014, how many times were you donating each year? And did the numbers start to go up at all, or no?
I think that's on average was like 25 children per year, sort of. But one year would be like 10, and another year would be more like 30 or 40. So, but on average, it was like this, 20 to 25 families.
Do you remember the first time that you met one of your children?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
What year was this?
This is a long time ago. I think it was maybe 2009.
Okay, 2 years after you started. So this was
Yes.
So still a baby.
It was a baby. Yeah, she was a baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you meet your baby for the first time.
Yeah.
So it's a girl. How did it feel to hold your baby for the first time, knowing that you weren't involved in those first 2 years?
It was a special day. Like, I can remember exactly how I felt when especially when I drove home, because the feelings come, well, in my case, it came later. Like, I was overwhelmed by, I've held my own daughter, and she's so little. And it's very unique. It's something very beautiful. But it was also good, because in my mind, I had created sort of this separate worlds: my private life and my donor life. And I must refer to the first time that I saw a picture of my first donor child. I remember I came home from a week I was a Boy Scout major, so I had like a whole bunch of children that I had like a whole week on the camp, and I came home and there was this birth card. We in the Netherlands they sent like a card when a baby is born, and I was like, okay, this is, and it was like the first family that I helped. So I was like, well, I went home and I was looking at the card and I said, okay, let's sit down and let the feelings, because I knew there was a picture in the card. So I was like, think, wow, you cannot return anymore. This is real. Now you change sort of your path, and that was what I started to realize. Like you're now biologically a father, and that had an impact. So I watched the card and I looked at the picture and I was like, okay, that's a really cute baby. And I was relieved because it was not a clone of me. Because I would feel way more emotional or like maybe disturbed if it was just like a clone of myself. I could say, I saw some resemblance, but it was enough to like say, oh, okay, wow, it's a unique baby. The first time that you were, you don't know, you're like, oh, I really don't hope that's just like me. I would feel like that wouldn't feel right. So he's totally like this unique baby, and I was like, wow, this is so amazing, and yeah, for a man to see, his biological son the first time on a picture is like, I was like, wow. But after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I said, okay, let's now do the dishes. I have to go. It was totally fine. It's overwhelming, but I knew that I made the decision to be the donor, and that year that I took to sort of, place the feelings, that really helped me. And I could say, okay, wow, you did something beautiful there, the baby, but I didn't feel like emotional that I would like drive directly to them and hold the baby. I was like, no, this is my gift to these parents. Like, and the boy is in good hands, and yeah.
Okay. Now, during this time, are you in any long-term relationships? Are you thinking, well, I just held this baby that I was a donor for. Maybe I'll have my own child with a woman and actually have a family, maybe get married. Were those thoughts coming in at all?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I think these feelings came later when I were helping more families. And then I would see every time, like, you get like a sense of it's like, cling, the family's complete. It's like, it's wonderful. And then after a few times that you've seen it, you're like, hey, but I want that too. It's such a beautiful thing to connect with somebody and to have that the family unit is made, and that you're like, you have your own little world. And I remember that I was longing for that as well. I had a girlfriend, but it was not that serious that I could see with her, because she seems to be more like, okay, I'm not sure if I even want to have kids, and I was okay, that's I would have stopped it earlier, but then it was more like, okay, it's my girlfriend, and but it definitely had some impact to see all these families, and then absolutely not jealous or anything, but more like longing for me. It started to grow, like, yeah, this is what I also want in life, it's
Okay. And then in 2013, that's when when you left teaching high school?
yeah.
Okay. So what were you doing to support yourself at that point?
I did some minor jobs, like delivering paper, teaching guitar, to children. Anything that I could find that would suit me. But I really scaled down my living expenses at that point. So this is like maybe what I learned from my father. He's an artist, so he learned to have like a part-time stable job and then make earning with his arts. But it's very fluctuates always. So that's always been my my mindset.